Good morning, my friends, and welcome to another daily dose of inspiration. Hope you're having a wonderful day. A man once told a story. He recounted his experience in hell on the day he arrived in Auschwitz. He said that it was after days and days, weeks of traveling with no food in these cattle carts stuffed together with many people, the crying, the shrieks, people fainting, people dying, one can only imagine. And then, of course, the day you arrive at Auschwitz and you're pushed out of these carts and you're greeted by the barking attack dogs and the screaming Nazis, families being separated, never to see each other again, many to the gas chambers. And it is, of course, beyond really our comprehension, beyond what we can really even imagine. And he says, finally, at the end of this most nightmarish day, the worst day of your life, you find yourself in a barrack, you're in a bed, in a barrack laying on a board, together with many other people, and it's cold, it's the Polish winter, and there's one little blanket that they've given for every 3-4 prisoners, but it's only big enough for one. And you've got this blanket over you, and he said at that moment in time, you faced a choice. The natural knee-jerk reaction after all of that suffering and all of the trauma, of course, is to cling onto that blanket and to cover yourself and keep yourself warm. Or you could choose to pass that blanket on to someone else who needed it even more. And in many ways, this is a choice we face every day in life. Do we keep the blanket for ourselves? Do we pass it on to someone else? But it is especially so in a time of crisis, in a time of difficulty, in a time of pain. Are we going to bring that blanket and cover and take care of ourselves? Or do we have the ability, do we have the human capacity and the courage to be able to take that blanket and pass it on to someone else? Today, into the Torah reading, we read that every sacrifice was accompanied with salt. There is a simple meaning, but the deeper meaning behind this custom is because salt teaches us about life. Salt, when it is just for itself, is bitter. But when you take that salt and you spread it on other foods, it brings out a beautiful flavor in those foods. We can live life in two ways. We can live life in a way in which we are only for ourselves, but that's a bitter life. Or we're living in which we are trying to share and to give to others, where we take that blanket and we pass it on to our fellow man. And this is the choice that we face in this current crisis. Are we going to keep that blanket just for ourselves, or are we going to find someone who needs it even more than us and pass it on to them? Have a wonderful day.